What's up, everybody? Welcome back to All the Warpath. It's Sanchez 405. If you're new, make sure you click that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime there's new content posted. And as always, like, comment, share this video out because we're talking Washington football team news all the time. And on Sunday, early Sunday morning, the Washington football team made a flurry of moves, which was headlined by activating Curtis Samuel off the PUP list and also releasing Kelvin Harmon, Lamar Miller, and Chris Miller. Yes, it is a bad day if your last name is Miller, but it's a good day if your last name is Samuel because Curtis Samuel is finally getting into the fold so we can get him for week 1. Curtis Samuel, of course, was on the PUP list. He's also on the COVID list. He had that lingering groin injury that hopefully this is all cleared up. And they said this was purely for conditioning, that he was on the PUP list. So there was no doubt in their mind that he was going to show up. And also, I believe Ron Rivera said that if this was week 1 of the preseason last week, not preseason, but the regular season, he would have been ready to go. So Curtis Samuel, he's back. Now he's ready to rock and roll. And this is a guy, got him in free agency, signed that big contract there. And the one thing you can see about Curtis Samuel is the dude is multifaceted, multi-talented. He is doctor position flex for the most part. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. And we saw that firsthand back in week 16 of last season when him and the Panthers came up to FedEx Field and he had a clinic on this defense. So good to have Curtis Samuel back. He signed that $34 million contract back in March, and now he is back in the fold in this offense. Are going to be the number 2 to Terry there, and he's also in an offense that he's very, very familiar with Scott Turner, who's a quarterback's coach down there, and was the offensive coordinator down the stretch of the 2019 season. So hopefully it'll be good, easy transition there for Curtis Samuel, and especially being with his former college teammate, Terry McLaurin. And going to the releases, headlined by Kelvin Harmon. Kelvin Harmon was a guy who was drafted in 2019 by this squad. He was a 6th-round pick, 206 out of NC State. And the one thing that we saw about Curtis Samuel in that rookie year, not Curtis Samuel, but Kelvin Harmon, was that he had 30 catches, 365 yards, and he had his own orbit pretty much. Anything that was thrown near him, he would catch it. In June of last year, he tore his ACL training for the 2020 season. He missed it, came back, and I noticed at Friday Night Football at FedEx Field a few weeks ago that he was not ready to rock and roll. He was standing out there in shorts, and he was not out there in the pads or anything like that. So, he was a guy who's on the bubble, and this is probably these moves are a part of getting this roster down to 85 before Tuesday. Coming up this week, they're going to go in phases. You got to get down to 85 by the 17th, 80 by the 24th, and then you have to drop all the way down to 53 on your active roster there. So, and I think that puts Washington right around like 86, 87. And then also Lamar Miller, a guy who was... He came in here. He's played for Houston. He's played for Miami. He played for New England, Chicago last year. He was on their roster. And then Washington picked him up on December 17th. He did not appear in a game for the Burgundy and Gold, and he was re-signed back in March. Now, the one thing about Lamar Miller, he's got almost 5,900 yards on the ground, 32 touchdowns to his repertoire, and also nearly 1,600 yards receiving for a career, and I think 8 touchdowns in that respect as well. But interesting enough, too, he is a guy who holds single rushing records in 2 franchises, so he has the longest run in Miami and Houston history, had 97-yard runs for both teams there. And also, he is the only player to score a 90-yard touchdown or more on a run for 2 different franchises. He's also the only running back in NFL history to score 2 95-yard plus touchdown runs. So that's interesting there for him. Hopefully but he is on the downward spiral of his career. 30, he just turned 30 this year, and he had some numbers in that New England game. He actually caught that touchdown that should have helped tie the game, but we won't talk about that because we're not petty and we're on the Cincinnati, right? He had 3 rushes for 14 yards and 3 catches for 10 yards. That touchdown pass from Steven Montez. And also Chris Miller, who was no relation, I don't think, but this guy, he was a first-year player, 1-year veteran, and he was all over the map last year. Seattle, Tennessee, and Arizona. Latched on with Washington back in May, and he was a tweener. Wasn't really going to make it at corner. Thought he could make it at safety, but the safety room is so crowded right now that, he wasn't going to have an opportunity to be here. He was really a camp body, so you can cut him down there. And you look at this, a lot of these aren't surprising. Lamar Miller with the emergence of Jared Patterson, not surprising at all. Kelvin Harmon, this was a bit of a toss-up, and I thought it was going to be him, AGG, battling out for a late roster spot. There's still time. We'll see. But Kelvin Harmon, just probably was not healthy. And it's good to have Curtis Samuel back in the fold here. But y'all tell me what you're thinking. Do you like these moves? Do you like the releases? Are you shocked by any of them? And what do you expect out of Curtis Samuel? Do you think we'll see him on Friday night against the Cincinnati Bengals? Y'all tell me, let me know in the comments. Also, Wednesday, we will be previewing the game with Bleeding Burgundy and Gold's Jalen Morgan. So y'all make sure y'all are here for that on Wednesday night, about 7 o'clock here. But as always, I'm St. Charles 405. I appreciate everything y'all are doing to help grow this channel. And as always, don't forget to slap a table, keep that same energy, and we'll outlast the bastards together. Till next time, love, peace, and hell. I'm out.